presentation of Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
The Rays kicked off their 10-day road trip in impressive fashion last night, led by Chris Archer's dominant 11 strikeout performance. While at the plate, Logan Morrison and Kevin Kiermaier provided the offense in a 5-2 victory. Today, right-hander Jake Odorizzi goes to the hill in Game 2 from Minnesota. This afternoon, we greet you from the River City of Minneapolis, where the Rays and the Minnesota Twins square off for the second time in a 3-game series, coming off the Rays' victory last night, 5-2. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you with us. We'll be joined by Alex Cordery in just a few moments. Well, the Rays trying to make it 4 straight. They won 7 of their last 10. And you're in a situation every night where the Rays feel whoever they send to the mound in that starting situation, they are in a position to win. Could not be truer than the case with Jake Odorizzi.
Yeah, and Jake Odorizzi's on another nice little streak here. And 2 things really jump out at you when you look at his last 5 starts. Number 1 is the consistency. 2 earned runs or fewer in 4 of the 5 starts. On top of that, limiting base runners. He is giving up less than a base runner per inning. And when you limit base runners, Dwayne, you limit opportunities to score. And it sets up the numbers like this, the 2-1 record, but the ERA of 270, that opponent's average of 200, just 7 walks in this span. Particularly, the elevated fastball has been sharp, and he's been using that to play the up-down game with the split change.
So Jake Odorizzi, after his 4th win of the year, in his 9th start, he's 3-2. And Alberto Mejia, the left-hander, makes the start for the Twins today, in with a record of 1-1 for the Minnesota Twins. Rays and the Twins just around the corner. Rays put on a show last night, and that included right fielder Steven Souza Jr., a showstopper indeed. Alex will take a look at more of the antics of Steven Souza Jr. when we return.
Rays right fielder opening a lot of eyes and bringing smiles to faces here at Target Field yesterday. Steven Souza Jr.'s 7th inning diving attempt is one for the low light reel. It had people laughing here at Target Field. They gave him a standing ovation. Souza actually tweeted to StatCast to get a breakdown. StatCast responded by saying, "You came up 23 feet short, 0% catch probability," but they gave him a 5-star for his effort.
Everybody knows I'm going to go out there and lay it on the line, and sometimes it's going to make a fool of myself, and sometimes I'm going to make plays. Vargas hit the ball, and it went in the lights immediately, and I couldn't find it. I didn't know if it was right at me, and so I basically just hit the deck, and it landed about 40 feet away from me, and it got me laughing pretty good there. We come out here and we try to have fun, and we're going to make mistakes, maybe look stupid sometimes, but at the end of the game, it's just about having fun, and it was great to put a laugh on for everyone.
He's done some things over the years that's just kind of makes you scratch your head, but that one takes the cake. So, like I said, I think we're going to be seeing that one for quite a while, and it's going to be hard for us teammates to forget about that play.
You gotta love that Souza had fun and could laugh at himself. Of course, he had the last laugh by crushing a solo shot to left field. Souza and the Rays look to keep laughing as they're aiming to win their 4th consecutive road series. Rays baseball and Fox Sports Sun coming up next.
Welcome back to Minneapolis, where the Rays and the Twins go at it again at Target Field this afternoon. Day game today, day game tomorrow, and then the road trips moves on to Texas and eventually into Seattle. But this afternoon, the Rays will be facing the big left-hander, and here is the lineup for the Rays, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Tim Beckham leads it off, followed by Daniel Robertson and Evan Longoria. Logan Morrison hits cleanup in front of Steven Souza Jr. Kevin Kiermaier's in center, hitting 6th. The DH is Ricky Weeks. Catching is Derek Norris. Peter Borges in the lineup today for the Rays, hitting 9th, playing left field.
Well, taking the mound this afternoon for the Minnesota Twins, the big left-hander, Dwayne, that you speak of, Adalberto Mejia. And you see he'll be making his 5th start of the season.
He's been up and down between Rochester and the big leagues, but 6 days ago, threw a game against the Kansas City Royals, went 7 strong innings, gave up just 3 earned runs on 89 pitches in picking up his 1 win. Let's take a look at the defense and see how it's going to line up behind him. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we have Rosario, Kepler, and Grossman. Across the infield, third to first, Escobar, Adrianza, Dozier, and Maurer, with Chris Jimenez behind the plate.
So here's Tim Beckham all set to lead it off. First pitch is a fastball, and he fouls it out of play. We are underway. Comfortable afternoon in Minneapolis, 69 degrees. Just a bit overcast, but a pleasant day here at Target Field. Game starting right on time at 10 past the hour. 1-1 to count. Beckham had a base hit last night in the leadoff spot, went 1 for 4. The Rays had 7 hits, 3 of those home runs in their 5-2 victory. Headed to shortstop. Adrianza up with it. His throw to first is in time. Beckham out of there on the ground ball.
Adrianza and Dwayne, he's the first Ahira? His first name, E-H-I-R-E.
Yeah.
Ahira?
Ere.
Well,
we'll call him A-Ray for short.
A-Ray?
Yeah.
I just call him Adrianza. Nice routine play to start the game. There you go.
Young infielder from Venezuela. And now Daniel Robertson up in the number 2 spot of the lineup, playing second base. Pitch down and in. Strike on the outside part of the plate, 1-1. Ball headed a bit toward right center. Grossman coming in. It hangs up and he makes the grab. So 2 up and 2 down. The bases will be empty for Evan Longoria.
You know, the one thing to watch today with Mejia, it's command. You look at his numbers this season in Rochester, and 20 2/3 innings, 3 walks, and you're like, okay, this guy's a strike thrower. However, big leagues, now 17 innings, 10 walks. And so that's been something that's gotten him into trouble.
The strike on the outside part of the plate. One thing that might help, Carlos Torres is behind the plate. 37-year-old umpire, young umpire. And when we've seen him in the past, he has had a tendency to widen the zone and maybe even give a strike up a bit. So we'll see how that works out this afternoon.
And that would help a guy like Mejia, because already you've seen, as a lefty, that fastball get into the low, maybe creep into the mid-90s, but he gets pretty good arm side run with it. See how he kind of slings it. The lower arm angle doesn't really drive the ball to the plate as much as he slings it, and that's another reason why the command can get a little sketchy. You're not really driving the ball towards home plate. You're kind of just slinging it there, and things can get away from you.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, this Minnesota Twin franchise completely revamping the style of pitcher that they're starting to get ready for the big leagues.
Yeah,
it's a process.
They've always been a pitch to contact philosophy, and they're looking for some strong arms.
Yep. That is the, well, I shouldn't say the future. That's the present, and then looking into the future, it's the power arms. It's the guys that can miss bats. That's why you see every single year it seems like the Major League Baseball sets a new record for strikeouts.
Coming on the ground to short. Throw to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Mejia. Bottom of the first coming, no score. The Twins starting lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. They'll again have Brian Dozier leading off and Joe Mauer hitting second, playing first base. Robbie Grossman, who's in right, hits third in front of Max Kepler. Yonis Vargas is the DH. Eduardo Escobar will be at third base. Chris Jimenez, who spent some time with the Rays, will do the catching. He'll hit seventh. Eddie Rosario is in left, hitting eighth, and Ray Adrianza is the shortstop, and he bats ninth.
Well, Jake Odorizzi making his ninth start of the season. The numbers up and down, very, very good. 43 innings of work. He's got an ERA of 3.14. We highlighted the run that he's been on. Since he came off the disabled list with the hamstring issue, his last 5 starts have been absolutely fantastic, into a nice little rhythm. All of the pitches clicking, and he'll look to keep that going here this afternoon.
Well, Minnesota returned home after a 3-game trip to Baltimore when they swept that series from the Orioles. Rays beat Minnesota last night, and Dozier, who was 1 for 4 with an RBI single in that game, fouls away the first pitch served by Jake Odorizzi. Ground ball, and the Rays have Robertson positioned perfectly, and Dozier's out of there, second to first.
Well, let's take a look at the rest of the Rays defense, brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we have Peter Borges, Kevin Kiermaier, and Steven Souza Jr. Across the infield, third to first, Longoria, Beckham, Robertson, and Morrison. Derek Norris will handle the catching duties.
Joe Mauer. Strike on the inside part of the plate. Mauer, a career .358 hitter against the Rays. .268 overall this year, with a couple of home runs.
And the Twins would like to see that number rise. Hit a few more than that. He definitely has the power, the size, and the bat speed. That just hasn't been his style.
Yeah, Rays actually play him to pull a little bit on the infield and around the other way in the outfield. And Souza Jr., you talk about being way off the right field line where he's positioned out there in right center and then some.
How about that? You never see a guy positioned there. Never. Left-handed hitter. Well, that's a lot of territory to work with.
That's a strike.
But Joe Mauer has been a guy with an up the middle, the other way approach. And that's the way that he likes to hit. Now, he will top a baseball here or there if you get him, out of rhythm, and that's what leads to the ground ball to the right side.
Pitch away, and the count goes to 3-2. We've seen that high strike. You can see that strike called on Mauer for strike 2, so that's in play early.
How about strike 1? Strike 1 is right here.
Yep.
So you've got wide and high.
And that's consistent with what we've seen in the past. See another 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Mauer is out on strikes. 2 up, 2 down as Odorizzi records his first strikeout of the game.
It's the elevated fastball. That's a pitch that Jake relies heavily upon, and he's been very good with it. He's probably the best I've seen to be able to throw that pitch consistently and not miss with it. If he misses, it's typically he misses high. You can live with that. You miss that pitch low, it gets hit very, very hard, and Jake has just very adept at putting that ball where it needs to be.
First pitch to Robbie Grossman is wide. Yeah, a guy who pitches the way he does up, he wants to miss up and not low, kind of sinker ball pitcher. He wants to miss down and not up a little bit more than he wants to be. Both danger zones for the respective type of pitchers.
Yeah, and the elevated pitch is not easy to execute. That's the thing. You watch a lot of guys try and do it, and they either throw it almost over the catcher's head or they leave it middle of the plate. It's very difficult to put that right at the top of the zone. Right at the letters every single time. And Jake, he's one of the best.
That takes the count to 3-1. Minnesota starting today 25-19, 2 games in front of Cleveland. The Indians have lost a couple in a row. And that's ball 4. Stuck one away. Grossman heads to first. There's Max Kepler. Kepler hitting cleanup, 5 home runs. He was in the number 4 spot last night and went 0 for 4. Good young hitter. He squares or shortens at least on that bat. Takes the pitch too high.
He's looking where Evan Longoria is playing out there and thinks, you know what, I can extend this inning, but that pitch, the good thing you don't go after that. Those are easy to pop up when they're up that high. Well, he can run too. Long strider.
2-0. Minnesota signed him in 2009. Just 24 years old. Fly ball headed toward right center. Souza closing, gets there to make the catch, and that retires the side. Man left on after the walk. Logan Morrison will lead off when we go to the second inning. To be followed by Souza Jr. and then Kiermaier. Game moves into the second inning. No score. Logan Morrison's going to lead it off. Then Steven Souza Jr. Kevin Kiermaier against the left-hander Adalberto Mejia. Morrison at 247 with 13 home runs. Takes the pitch inside. 13 home runs. Tied for 5th in the home run derby in the American League. 1-1 to count. Morrison 250 against left-handed pitching, and there's a fly ball hit into right center. Grossman going to look up and play it off the wall. It caroms back to Kepler. Morrison's digging for 2, and he gets in there. The throw back in, the ball loose, and that's a double for Logan Morrison. Well, that high wall out there is 23 feet tall, and Morrison hit it off the wall for a double.
Boy, a hanger right out over the plate. Fortunately for Mejia, that ball didn't get out of the yard. Logan Morrison has been, what is it, 4 games in a row now? He's hit a home run here at Target Field. That one off the wall and into second base. A scoring opportunity already for the Rays. I'll tell you, he has really provided that power and production in the middle of the lineup that every team is looking for.
And timely hits. Steven Souza Jr. takes a pitch down, 1-0. How about this against starting pitchers?
Wow.
That's amazing.
Well, especially when the league average is 37 and you're sitting at 75.
He's doubled it. Doubled it and then some.
Now, he doesn't get cheated, that's for sure. He's not looking to go up there and poke a ball through the infield for a base hit. He's looking to drive the ball, and for the most part, he's been able to consistently do that.
This one's going to get away, and Morrison will go to third. And the Rays will have Morrison at third base with nobody out.
This is where you start to think about taking that early lead once again, something this team has done all season long. We talked last night about how many games. It's what now, 44 out of 51 games played where the Rays have had a lead of some sort during the course of the game.
And those numbers by Morrison shows how he's contributed to the early offense for the Rays, jumping on starting pitchers. Pass ball moves Morrison to third.
Now, all I can tell you, coming out to face in this Rays lineup, you'd better come out of the bullpen and be locked in. If you're not, they will make you pay.
Two balls, 2 strikes the count. Rays just need some contact to get the runner home. Infield back. Pitch a little bit wide. He originally in the San Francisco Giants organization. And that's ball 4. Souza Jr. holds up just in time, so he'll take a walk to first. And he had an interesting night last night. Steven Souza Jr. a great catch on that ball hit by Vargas in the second inning. And then how about this one? Coming up just a little short. Actually, we saw him working on that in pregame drills today. And then, no doubt about that shot, 418 feet in the 8th inning. Cushioning the Rays lead a little bit, 5-2, and they won it by that score. Kevin Kiermaier fouls it. 1 strike to count. Well, they're calling that that 418 shot that was the original estimate. Apparently, they've rethought that, and they're going to say 435 now.
435. It was all of 435.
And then let's take a look at some of that reenactment here. He's working on that move, and we'll see if he got the same kind of distance. No distance there.
No, but it was the same landing in Chico. Another priceless reaction to Souza Jr. Yeah, he ended up 20 feet short. They even, figured that up.
Yeah, he got a reply from StatCast.
Yeah.
Requested some measurements on that.
Said a 0% catch probability, but a definite 5-star effort. He said that ball got lost in the lights.
Yeah.
And when you look at his dive, there's some believability to that, because as he's diving, if you look at his head, it's turned away from the infield, back towards the wall, as if I don't know where the ball is and it could be heading my way. I'm not going to expose my face. So there absolutely probably was telling the truth there, but it made for wonderful theater.
And he played it very well. The aftermath of all that.
Oh,
strike 3 call there. Delayed call. Kiermaier caught looking.
it started in off the plate, and Mejia was able to get Kiermaier to give up on it. They meant for that to be away, but it starts in off. Kiermaier freezes, and it just catches that inside corner. That's a big strikeout for the big lefty.
First and third, 1 out. Ricky Weeks Jr. Weeks getting back-to-back starts to begin this road trip. Takes a pitch down. He was in the lineup last night against the left-hander Hector Santiago.
Very important here for Ricky Weeks to move this baseball. He has been prone to the strikeout at a very high rate here the first couple months of this season. That's exactly what Mejia would be looking for. If he can get to 2 strikes, Weeks needs to put this ball in play and get that run home.
He takes it down, 2-0 Rays. Got a man to third base with nobody out. Souza walked in, setting up first and third. Mejia, the big strikeout on Kiermaier, and now Weeks is ahead of him in the count, 2-0.
And you can see some of the command issues start to pop up. That's why Chris Jimenez went out there to talk to him. Even the strikeout to Kiermaier, he missed that spot by the width of a plate.
Rays have been very good in jumping out in front. They have an opportunity in the second inning. And that's ball 3.
You know, the other thing, Dwayne, that's really hurting Mejia right now is he has not been able to establish anything. I mean, you watch him throw, it's like a fastball, here comes a breaking ball, then a changeup, then a breaking ball, then a fastball, then a changeup. Nothing has been established, and so everything's a little erratic.
That's ball 4. The bases are going to be loaded. 2 walks in the inning. A double, pass ball, walk, strikeout, and a walk. Bases are loaded for Derek Norris. It continues to be a great opportunity for the Rays early.
If you're an established pitcher, with a good track record, to be able to seamlessly move between pitches early in games, you can do that. When you're a young guy trying to establish command, and you're trying to go from pitch to pitch to pitch to pitch, and they're all different early on, this is the result you're going to get.
Line drive, base hit into left field. 1 hop to Rosario. A run will score, and the bases remain loaded. Boy, a big turn out there at second by Ricky Weeks, and he scampers back in. Norris comes through without wasting any time on the line drive base hit to left, and the Rays take a 1-0 lead.
Good job of veteran hitting there by Derek Norris. Knowing that Mejia is all over the place and hasn't established anything, he goes up and looks for a first pitch fastball. He's got to throw a strike, and what are you going to go to? The fastball, and he rips it right into left field. How many times do you see a guy walk on 4 pitches, the next guy swings at the first pitch, and everybody's yelling at him? Well, Derek Norris was smart there, and he roped that ball into left.
So a big conference on the mound for the Twins following the go-ahead base hit by Derek Norris. Well, as we mentioned, the Rays have been very good scoring early. And recently they made some of those stand up, but they've held the lead coming into this game in 36 of their last 39 games, but have gone just 20-19 in those games, just a game over 500.
Yeah,
When you think about the advantage of scoring first in a game,
oh,
big advantage, and the Rays have had some issues with that.
and you just know that at some point, hopefully that's now, they're going to clean that up. And when they clean that up, look out.
Yep.
Because it's not a fluke anymore that they take all these leads early. That has been their MO. You start making the majority of them hold up, and you start to really do some damage.
It's a strike. It's 1-1. This one bounding in. That's going to get away. Down the line from third to recovery and the toss. Souza is out at the plate. Quick recovery by Jimenez there. And the Rays lose a runner at home plate.
Boy, a nice job by Jimenez in getting to that ball in a timely manner, and Mejia able to make the tag. And then you see Souza Jr. see that ball bound away. But what a feed by Jimenez.
Now the Rays might want to have another look at this as to whether he scored and the tag was made before Souza got to the plate. Let's see what the Rays decide to do.
I think they're going to let it go. It looked like that front foot. He tagged the back foot, but it looked like he got to that back foot before the front foot got over the plate. And so the Rays don't want to risk that challenge this early.
2 outs now with men at second and third. 2-1 to count to Borges. It's foul out of play. 2-2. That's a big play for Minnesota. And Borges could really pick up the Rays here with a base hit.
Well, you had a guy out there obviously struggling with command. The bases are loaded, a wild pitch. He's all over the place, and he gets bailed out there. Now it falls to Borges. Still could be a great inning, like you said, if he could just dribble one through, do something positive here.
Ground ball, foul outside the bag at third. Escobar a couple of steps toward that line, deep at third. Still 2-2. That ball that skipped away off to the third base side and didn't get all the way back to the base of the stands. It's only 46 feet from home plate to the base of the stands here, and that's not a lot of territory. So if you're going to come down from third, you got to do it in a hurry. Ground ball now to short. Adrian's up with it, and a throw to first, and the Rays settle for just 1 run. They leave 2 and lead 1-0. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure, by Jeep, get great deals at the Jeep Spring Clearance Event, and by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Jake Odorizzi with a 1-run lead. Starting the bottom of the second, facing the DH, Kenny Vargas, and the pitch is a strike. Vargas hitting .282, 5 home runs, picked up a run batted in last night, his 19th of the year. 1-1.
It's so funny, Dwayne. Before the ball game, talking to Dick Bremer, the play-by-play guy for the Minnesota Twins, and he was talking about Vargas, how he likes the ball down and out over the plate to be able to get down to it and lift. And I said, well, if that's the case, you look at the scouting reports, Jake Odorizzi, you're going to see a ton of those elevated heaters and changing of eye levels. He was a one guy last night that swung the bat well for the Twins.
Liner into center, and there's a one-hop base hit.
Well, and you know, Rays are always very good at setting up those scouting reports, but back-to-back changeups to Vargas, and that ball, you know, didn't have the elevation. It's going to stay out over the plate, and he put a good swing on it. I mean, that is his hot zone. He wants to have those high hands and then drop them through the zone and try to get that bat down through and up, high finish, and get some lift. And he smoked that ball to center field. That's an adjustment to look for the rest of this ball game. Elevated heaters.
Eduardo Escobar. Which is a strike. Escobar .230 on the year. Switch hitting infielder. 170 against right-handers, but there's a base hit. Punched into center field, and the first 2 men are aboard.
That's 4 straight changeups from Jake Odorizzi. And so you had the back-to-back, and Vargas goes to center. Back-to-back changeups here. Another one just kind of stays in the middle of the zone, the middle of the plate. Escobar goes to center field, and so right now Jake trying to pitch this team backwards a little bit, and they've been able to thwart that.
Chris Jimenez. Takes ball 1. Well, Jimenez is an aggressive guy up there, and he'll hit the ball on the ground. Odorizzi likes to pitch up a lot, but he will throw the occasional double play ball.
And he's been good at being able to get him when he needs him. That's a pitch he'll use to get it. The cutter, try to take it to the end of the bat and get that ground ball. But yeah, he's a, I wouldn't say an extreme fly ball pitcher, but he closes in on that, but can get the ground ball when needed.
Now it's 1-2.
Not going to get it there, but you will get the swing and miss, and that's where he's awfully good.
That's the ground out fly out ratio for him this year. He's normally, you know, mid, maybe upper 30s ground ball rate. And upstairs 2-2.
He's mid 30s this year, and that's pretty low. I think that's very low. You get some of these guys, these starters, you get up over 50% ground ball rate. Okay, you're a pretty good ground ball guy. You're in the mid 30s.
Two on, nobody out. Foul back. The Rays miss an opportunity to have a big inning in the top of the frames. Settled for 1 run. And the Twins are right back with a major threat in the bottom of the second. Two. Fouled again. He gave up a walk in the first, left a man, base hits to begin the second. And that will be ball 3, just a bit up.
Well, that did not miss by much, and you think about Torres and his strike zone, that ball right on the border.
He had called that pitch a strike a couple times already today. Not that time.
Yeah, when you really need it.
And way up for ball 4. So the bases are loaded. Jake in a big spot in the second. Hickey's going to head to the mound.
It seems like right now with the scouting report here and the way that Jake is approaching this lineup, a little disjointed. You know what I mean? Jake, usually you can follow him pretty easily, and right now, you know, all of the split changeups, you know, in a row to a couple of guys, those are the pitches that they can handle. Not as sharp with the elevated fastball. I missed that last one to Jimenez, but you know, you also look at Jake's numbers against this team, and overall, you know, not very good. So maybe he's trying to make some changes on the fly.
Jake 0-1 with a .528 over 3 starts in his career against him. Eddie Rosario faced him once last year and limited him to 2 runs in 6 innings, had a no decision. It's a swing and a miss by Rosario.
On a changeup that stayed up. Those are dangerous. And Rosario got a pretty good swing at that. He was not fooled by the change of speed. It just hopped over the bat.
Low. Norris keeps it in front of him. 1-1. Pop fly, not too deep to left. Borges is there to make the catch, and the runners hold. So there's a big out, the first one of the inning, with the runners not in a position to advance.
Yeah, not nearly deep enough. And it's not like Vargas is a burner anyway, a shallow fly ball to left field, but that's Jake Odorizzi missing the barrel. He did get Rosario out of sync there, and a little soft fly ball into left field, and now you can go after that ground ball, Dwayne. You're talking about another pop-up.
Rianza is going to be the hitter, the shortstop. And 13 at bats, you see there, 5 for 13. 4 of those hits have come against right-handers. He's 4 of 9 against right-handed pitching. Switch hitting shortstop. He'll take a look at that one low. It's a fly ball. Going to be foul and will slice out of play. We're just hustling over there, but no chance on that one.
Got the old school style shades. You see, most of these guys, they go with just a regular. He's got the flip downs.
Yeah, I like those. That's a good look.
Yeah, that's throwback.
But inside.
You know who we're going to miss today? Is Colby Rasmus.
Yes.
Colby Rasmus with these uniforms, he may try to play his outfield position in a blind. Camo head to toe.
That's right.
Wouldn't even know he was out there. There he is.
And a little wide. So now it's 3-1.
Boy, make a pitch time early in a game.
And a foul ball back on 3-1 to run it full. Adrianza has spent some time in the big leagues over in the National League with the Giants. Took a rip and fouled it.
So many changeups during the course of this at bat. He was a little tardy on the fastball, and now Jake and Derek Norris getting together once again. I mean, this is a big pitch, obviously, and want to make sure everybody's on the same page and they believe in what they're about to attack Adrianza with. My vote, Dwayne, is for heater up. Now here's the thing, though. Does he feel comfortable with it? Last time he tried that in a full count, he missed way up.
Yep.
So how
that
comfortable?
Loaded the bases.
Yep.
3-2. And it's popped up foul.
See, that's what you're afraid of, is kind of laying a changeup out there that's very hittable. And that one certainly was, and was fouled off. Watch where this is. Thank goodness that was nothing more than a foul ball. The heater that he fouled off previous to that pitch, it was almost by him. So
how does he come back with that?
I would come with the heater right at the top of the zone.
Yep.
That's his bread and butter pitch, and that's what he's got him set up for.
And a foul ball back. He came in
up
with the fastball.
Need a little bit more up.
Yeah.
I love the idea. I really do. Especially if you want to come up and keep it close to a guy, you force him to be even quicker to get the barrel to the baseball. But that one stayed in the zone a little bit, probably more than Odorizzi wanted it to.
Fly ball center field. Kiermaier's there to make the catch. Throw's going to be toward third to hold the runners at first and second. Vargas scores and the game is tied. Fourth run batted in for the Minnesota shortstop.
You know what? Where that pitch ended up to, you take a sac fly. That was another changeup that just laid itself right out over the plate. And if you're Jake Odorizzi and if you're the Rays, you'll take that. Watch where this pitch ends up. Just, ooh, man.
Well, now men at first and second, and Brian Dozier, who, as you know, can be very dangerous up there, came into the game 3 out of 7 against Odorizzi for his career. One of those 3 hits a home run. He had 42 a year ago, 6 this year. Danger here. Pitch is wide.
And you would expect them, for the most part, to stay out there. Dozier wants to pull. You mentioned last night, Dwayne, he had the highest, the highest pull percentage in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so you try to make him beat you to right field.
Yeah, his pull rate was 56% plus. Jake's behind him 2-0.
Remember last night they had Kiermaier almost shading right center field off Dozier. Now Kiermaier just on the other side, completely different spot than he was a night ago. Same hitter.
High fly ball. Glasses down for Borges. He's got it, and that will retire the side. 1 run. We're through 2, tied at 1.
Take a look at the showstopper here today, Dwayne, and guess who is back?
Oh, look at that.
And we thought Corey Dickerson had taken out the rally squirrel in Cleveland, but apparently not. It's still running amok. Jorge Bonifacio is not even phased in the least bit. And I'm going to tell you what, the Kansas City Royals did stare down the rally squirrel and took that game from Cleveland.
Yeah.
So you may want to rethink this guy being out there on the grounds now because he's not helping out.
Well, Kansas City might want to take him home with them. You know, they've struggled on the road. I think they're 8-16 on the road this year. Got a win last night in Cleveland by staring down the rally squirrel.
Well, you saw when he rolled out, it was 4-4. That game ended up 6-4 Royals. Or you could call
Beckham leads off the third.
You could call my dad.
You could do that.
You could
he
do
knows
that.
exactly what to do with that squirrel. A strike, 2-1. Beckham, Robertson, and then Longoria.
I mean, it is Memorial Day weekend. Fire up the grill.
Mm-hmm. It's been done before. Go for not exactly a squirrel.
Ah, it's all in the same family. Tastes like chicken.
Marinade. Three-1 on Tim Beckham. Oh, a big cut at that fastball. The count is full.
Well, certainly wasn't getting cheated on this particular swing. 3-1, looking fastball, get fastball, and just come up a little bit empty.
Yeah, Beckham very seldom gets cheated. I mean, he'll let it loose. He struck out 3 times last night, had a base hit. He struck out 63 times this year, has drawn 8 walks. So he's up there to do one thing, and that's swing hard and hit the ball hard. And when he does make contact, he's hit the ball very hard this year.
Well, he's making Adam Jones look patient. Wow, 63-8.
Yeah. How about
that? Hey, that's 63. And we talked about Sano last night, was in the upper 60s by the time the game was over and is in the top 3 or 4 in the league. That means Beckham's knocking right on that door.
Hey, a base hit through the hole. Leadoff single for Beckham. Rosario returns the ball to the infield. The Rays pick up their 3rd hit. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Just visit MLB.TV for details. Daniel Robertson hitting second, playing second base. Way high from Mejia.
Yeah, and you notice when the Rays have gotten Mejia into the stretch, that's when the big wide misses have started to happen. You just have that feeling that the Rays are going to get opportunities off of Mejia. Now the question is, are they going to be able to cash in? Because the opportunities will absolutely present themselves.
Pitch up. 2 balls, no strikes. Robertson victimized last night on a great catch in center field from Buxton. Buxton not in the lineup today. That won't hurt Robertson's feelings at all. Over to first. Beckham back in. Rays got a leadoff double in the 2nd inning from Logan Morrison, converted that into a run. And they had the bases loaded with only 1 out, settled for the single run. Minnesota back to tie it with a run in the bottom of the inning. Pitch in on Robertson, he fouls it back. Mejia last year in the minor leagues was 9-5, covered 22 starts. Now he's even with Robertson, 2-2. For strike 3. Fastball mid-90s.
He's getting to be a little Tim McClellanish.
Yeah, cool. Torres seemed to think about it and then went up with the right arm.
Yeah, the second one where there's a little bit of a pause. Daniel Robertson throws up that left arm. You want to be careful there. You want to draw the ire of Torres, but you know there's a certain timing and a rhythm. You know, and the ball passes you and it hits into the glove and there's a call that's made. And when there's any kind of a delay, you're going to tick somebody off. You know, at least McClellan used to, like, he would speak it. You could never tell on TV, but he would say strike 3, then he would ring you, but you already knew that was the case.
He just made it more personal that way.
Well, you couldn't tell from the mound, so you'd throw that pitch, think you got a guy frozen, and you're like, I mean, that's that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was annoying. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, watching it, broadcasting it the same way.
Right.
You know, there's a rhythm to almost everything that you want to get into, and you couldn't develop one with him. Two-0 count to Longoria. Chapman pops it up. Frustrated. That ball just foul and caught by Mauer. 2 gone. Hey, let's check in with Alex for a moment. Alex?
Hey there, guys. Well, Logan Morrison takes a lot of pride in hitting cleanup for the Rays. After last night's game, he said, hitting fourth, the team depends on me. I feel like I haven't been good enough since our record isn't good enough. And you got to admire that attitude, right? Considering that Morrison leads the team with 13 home runs, ranks among AL leaders in homers and RBI. He's been a consistent force in the middle of Tampa Bay's lineup and has no plans of slowing down. Dwayne.
Yeah, and he did in the first time up in this game with a double, and he has scored the run for the Rays. Leads him in home runs with 13, runs batted in with 34. The Rays are to do anything here, he'll have to contribute with 2 outs. A runner at first. That's Tim Beckham over there. Strike 1 on the fastball.
And he's been, you know, obviously a consistent contributor. The best thing about Logan Morrison is you can tell how he feels at the plate by the way he takes pitches. You know, the swing, the results, that's all good stuff. But the way that he takes pitches lets you know if he's seeing the ball well or not.
1 ball, 1 strike. Runner goes. The pitch is a strike and no throw. Stolen base number 2 on the year for Tim Beckham in as many attempts.
A left-handed pitcher, you're going to go on first move. And even though he was quick to the plate, Jimenez kind of double clutched, couldn't get that ball out of the glove clean. And so that gives the Rays here a late opportunity. 2 outs, 2 strikes.
Well, an opportunity to grab the lead. The other thing about Morrison, you know, he had surgery on that left wrist and ended the season early last year. You always wonder about that. And he's been very central to the Rays' attack this year, despite all of that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Managed to get a run home in the second, had an opportunity for more. Same thing for the Twins in the bottom of the second. They settled for 1, so we're tied, and the Rays now with Beckham at second. 2 outs and a 2-2 count on Logan Morrison. Morrison swings and he misses. Fastball strikes him out. Rays leave a man. We're tied at 1. Today's Unlimited Baseball Break brought to you by T-Mobile. Two teams headed in opposite directions. Baltimore, the Orioles swept recently by the Twins. In the last 14, they've gone 3-11, and the Red Sox have put together a 5-game winning streak. And look at the runs per game, over 8 runs, and the bullpen has been absolutely shut down.
Well, that's how you do it. Obviously, your starters have to do something of a job. You're scoring over 8 runs a game and nobody's scoring off your bullpen. Well, you're going to win some games, and they got David Price coming back here in a couple of days.
Look at that, Boston winning 5 in a row, 2 games out. 6 days ago, people were talking about, well, is John Farrell, is he close to being fired? Well, now they won 5 in a row and everything's great. So you score 8 runs, you get a bullpen, it's got a 0.82 ERA. That's pretty good job security right there.
Now you're talking extension.
Yeah.
Same people are saying, why aren't you locking this guy up long term? And by the way, they were showing the standings there. I didn't even get a shot at looking at the standings. Did you see the drink that was going on behind the standings?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Like that Bloody Mary that had like a burger on top of it. I mean, what monstrosity was that?
But interested, right?
Well, like I said, I didn't even, I have no idea what place the Rays are in or who's leading the, I know nothing. I know I want one of those up here soon.
That could probably be arranged. Mauer, a little tapper by the mound, and Beckham a double clutch and has time with Mauer. So that takes care of the Minnesota first baseman.
Look at that.
I mean, that's lunch and a refreshment all in one.
That's all day, Dwayne, has been spoken for.
Yeah.
You have that, you just take a nap, and you have somebody drive you home to the state, and it's over with.
Yep.
Put you to bed.
I mean, just all packaged in one right there.
It's amazing what ballparks are doing. You know what I mean? With the concession items nowadays.
Yep.
How big and bold can we get?
Here's Grossman taking one the other way, and one hops it in front of Borges. Grossman walked his first time and has a base hit his second time up. One on, one out. Rizzi had an extended inning of 28 pitches in the second. Gave up just the run. Now 1 on, 1 out. Here's Max Kepler. Base hit into right. Grossman stopped. Now he's going to try to go to third. Souza overran the ball, and that's going to allow 2 men to move into scoring position. Kepler got a base hit, and Souza coming in runs right by it. Had to go back and get it.
Dwayne, that was another one of those changeups that stayed out over the plate, and right there was where the mistake was made because Robbie Grossman had pulled up. He was going to stay at second. You can see right there, but then seeing that ball got behind him, he's going to pick it up. So is Kepler, and all of a sudden the Twins are threatening in a big way here.
Well, 2 men in scoring position on the base hit and the error. It'll be the second error of the year charged to Souza Jr. And here's Kennys Vargas. Upstairs. Well, Vargas opened the inning in the second with a base hit and scored the run. Rizzi in big trouble again. Second straight inning. Picks up a strike, 1-1. A lot of base runners in this game early. Tied 1-1, but a big threat from Minnesota. And he gets it by him. 1-2.
Here it is. Vargas back up there. You'll remember 2 back-to-back changeups. The second one got lined hard into center field, and now Jake is going back with that elevated heater, something that we thought that he would do, make that adjustment. So far, so good. No reason to not do it again.
Up 2-2. Escobar on deck. And he got him. Big out right there for Odorizzi.
Lesson learned. You know, that previous at bat where Vargas wants that ball mid-thighs and down, that's going to set up well for the elevated heater. And he was able to do it to him 3 times in that at bat and get the strikeout with these runners at second and third. And now you just get an out and the inning is over.
Eduardo Escobar. He lined a single into center his first time. And there's that pitch up. He swings through the fastball.
That was 2 back-to-back changeups to Escobar where he got the base hit. So he's saying, okay. You know, even the Kepler hit, that pitch has not had the same finish that Jake is used to. And so now leaning a little bit more on that fastball while in trouble.
And he fouls it back. Another fastball. No balls, 2 strikes. And Odorizzi going to get together.
And you got that runner out at second base, and you know, obviously you change your signs up, but that's at least the 3rd meeting we've seen between these two here, Odorizzi and Norris, as they try to get things locked in.
Escobar had a big series in Baltimore. Drove in 4 runs in their 3-game sweep of the Orioles. Fouls it back. That one, again, the fastball up. Finished Vargas with it, has opened Escobar with it. Has him down 0-2.
You can just keep marching him a little bit higher. See where his cutoff point is. And maybe you go back to the changeup here. But yes, he seems to have more faith in the fastball now.
This one down, bounding away, but Norris keeps it within reach.
That was almost a split changeup that Odorizzi, you know, if Escobar wants to swing at it, great, inning's over. But almost like there was no intent to get him. He threw that ball was a ball out of his hand down in the zone. But you use that to change a hitter's eye level. You slow him down, you get him looking down, then you pop that fastball right back up. Let's see if that's what he does.
Ground ball, and it's grabbed at third by Longoria. Throw to first gets him, and that retires the side. Twins miss a scoring opportunity, leaving men at second and third. Nice job by Longoria to flag it down. We're tied at 1. helping to get the Rays out of the bottom of the third. Rays doubleheader means you get double the game action, double the fun, and double the Rays magic. Saturday, June 10th, the Rays take on the Oakland A's in a scheduled doubleheader at the Trop, and you get 2 games for the price of 1. First 15,000 fans receive a Matt Duffy double play bobblehead presented by Spectrum. Visit RaysBaseball.com.
I like the adjustment you made there, Dwayne, in that read. It's a good adjustment.
Oh, games and not tickets. Gotcha. Steven Souza Jr. leads off, fouling it away.
If you get 2 tickets that day, you have somebody else's.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't get 2 tickets. It's not 2 tickets for the price of 1.
that's why I love it. You get
2 games for the price.
I know, but the way you get annoyed with that is so fun. It is so fun.
I mean, how could you do that?
Attention to detail.
A little tapper, off his foot. And the count is now 1-2. Well, I guess they're going to have folks outfitted in the 70s. 70s type uniforms, I guess.
Oh, wait a minute.
Are they going to do that too? Because they're talking about fans. Yeah, they have throwback unis.
Oh, even better.
And then, fans will show up dressed in 70 attire. Actually, Souza hobbling around after fouling that ball off his foot.
Oh, right off the top. And yeah, that's not going to feel too good. You know what's very telling here? There's no trainers out there.
Yeah.
They'll just kind of let him walk this thing off.
Well, it's happened before, and he's managed to stay in the game.
They don't even look really concerned. He just keeps giving.
He does.
What can you say?
Yep.
He was epic last night.
Great entertainment value. Takes the pitch wide. 2-2. Just a great guy. Good guy with entertainment value, intentional and otherwise.
Yeah, he can't help himself.
No, it's great. His teammates enjoy all that. He is called out on strikes, turns around and heads back into the dugout. In fact, we put together a little entertainment package featuring Steven Souza Jr.
The goggles. Yeah, that's when he has the goggles. And then this is where you remember this one, Wayne. that was targeting. That was a 15-yard automatic ejection.
Obstacle course with a mound in the bullpen. Nice slide. Whoa, a broken bat and a base hit up the middle for Kevin Kiermaier. The barrel into the bat's in the coaching box at first. As Kiermaier has a base hit into center.
Kiermaier took the handle end of the bat and just stuck it like a giant sword right into the grass as he was running up the first base line. He used it like a jart, Dwayne. You ever heard of
jart? Yeah, let's go play jarts.
Yeah, watch. He's got that thing. Now watch this. Just, okay, boom. Nice. Well played, Kevin Kiermaier.
Well, the Rays have a base runner with some speed aboard. A little toss, soft toss over by Mejia. Ricky Weeks Jr. Pitch is too low, a ball, no strikes. Keeping an eye on Kiermaier. And again over. He's facing Roberto Mejia in this game. Fastball and fouled it back. 1-1. They got Mejia last year in July when they sent Eduardo Nunez to the Giants. And again over to first. Two and one. Out of the stretch again. The Rays have had him in the stretch for 3 consecutive innings. A base hit into right field. Kiermaier will round second and head to third. Rays will have men on the corners with 1 out. Weeks on for the second time.
Well, we have not seen Mejia be able to consistently get the ball really anywhere near where he wants it. They want this fastball in. It's up and away, and that's what allows Ricky Weeks Jr. to reach it. So instead of jamming him and getting that ball in close and trying to tie him up, you leave it out and away. A wide open right side to work with, a base hit, and the Rays, here's another one of those opportunities that we continue to say they're going to get off Mejia. You got to start cashing them in.
Well, the Rays left men at second and third in the second. Left a man at second in the third, and have men at first and third in the fourth. Here's Derek Norris, who drove in the run with a single into left field in the second inning. Up the right side, that's going to be out of play. 1 strike to count. Into right center. Kepler on the run to make the catch. Tag at third. Kiermaier heads to the plate, and he will score standing to give the Rays the lead. So Norris has driven in both runs for the Rays. This one on a fly ball to center field.
Well, got it deep enough. And the Rays are able to get that run home, take a lead. And how about the Rays catching position
from the offensive end?
Right.
Yeah.
They have traditionally been pretty anemic. Not much in the way of average, not much in the way of any kind of production at all. But between Sucre and Norris, they're getting some big hits and driving in some runs.
Yep. Both runs batted in belonging to Norris today. Here's Peter Borges trying to put down a bunt and bunting it foul right back into the screen. Borges hitting .212 on the year. He hit over 300 a year ago against left-handed pitching in 83 at-bats. Facing the big left-hander, Roberto Mejia. And he's behind him, 0-2. In front of that changeup. Way wide. One ball, two strikes. Well, Mejia has been looking for consistency today. He'll make one great pitch and then not have command of the very same pitch to follow it up. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And both of these starters kind of slogging their way through. Neither one particularly sharp. And we'll just see who can calm it down first, or who can battle the longest. And really, that's what it's going to boil down to. And then at some point, you're going to turn it over to the bullpens, and we'll see. But it has not been easy going for either one of these guys.
Close right there. Came back with a fastball, and now the count is full. Well, he had Borges down in the count. Here's a look at that last pitch.
Very close. We get Ricky Weeks moving here on this pitch.
Foul ball.
This is the one time as a, well, not really even a base stealer, but as a base runner, where you have to read the pitcher, the left-handed pitcher, going to home plate before you take off.
Yeah, you want to make sure, because you could just end an inning fast.
Right on, right on. If you go first movement, you see a lot of guys pick over in this situation to try to catch a guy being mentally lazy. So Weeks will read Mejia before he breaks for second.
And a high fly ball hit deep down the left side. That ball is foul. Boy, great distance on it and a great catch out there. How about that catch? A great grab. Home run distance, but foul off the bat of Borges.
Like nothing.
Had him played perfectly. Again, the 3-2. Foul up the other side this time. Out of play. Rays got a run in the second. Minnesota got a run in the second. The Rays a run in the fourth. We're just trying to keep the fourth inning going. Weeks the runner. He'll be off again. And the pitch, did he go? Oh, he did, says James Hoy on the pitch, down and in. So Borges out on strikes. Here's a look. Rays get the go-ahead run and take a 2-1 lead into the bottom of the fourth. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by your Southern Chevy dealers. By Jeep. Get great deals at the Jeep Spring Clearance event. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. We welcome you back to Minneapolis. Pleasant afternoon with the Rays holding a 2-1 lead. Bottom of the 4th inning underway. Chris Jimenez leading off, taking a ball from Jake Odorizzi. Jimenez, Rosario, and then Adrianza due up. 2 balls, no strikes. A little overcast, but it has been a very pleasant day. The temperature 69 degrees at game time. It's fouled straight back and will be out of play, and a great catch in the front row right there. An Evan Longoria fan made the catch.
That makes sense.
And an Evan Longoria jersey right there, and made the play no problem. Foul right back into the screen. It's a 2-2 count. There's some great defensive work going on in the stands here.
Yeah, people have come ready to go. Big weekend. Yeah, summer's getting ready to ramp up. And he just, one hand too.
Yeah, well, he has a glove right in front of him.
Yeah.
And didn't use it.
No.
Didn't need it. And Jimenez is out on strikes. So that's the first out here in the 4th. Speaking of Evan Longoria, kids, Evan wants you to read your way into the ballpark this summer through the Reading with the Rays program presented by Suncoast Credit Union. Kids receive prizes for reading and receive 2 tickets to a Rays game for completing the program. Sign up by visiting your local library. For more information, visit raysbaseball.com/reading.
That's a pretty good idea. And they've been doing it for a while now.
Great program, yep.
Because you know, listen, school, reading, you know, your basic courses, you don't have off time. You've got to keep that going through the summer. You can't take a lot of time off from baseball. You can't take a lot of time off from learning.
1-0 pitch by Odorizzi is hit deep and out of here, into and out of the upper deck in right center field. Eddie Rosario keyed on that one and belted it out of here. His 4th home run of the year, and it ties the game at 2.
Boy, was that a blast by Eddie Rosario. Now that's the 2nd time the Rays have been able to take a lead, and immediately the Twins have been able to answer. There's the pitch. That's another one of those changeups, Dwayne, that have just floated and stayed out over the plate. There have been a number of those that have been in that spot. A couple of them have been hit pretty hard. Jake's just not quite getting that normal finish on that pitch that he normally gets. And you know what we haven't seen a whole lot of today? I know there's a lot of left-handed hitters, but you know, early in the count curveballs to get ahead that he'll do a lot of times. Haven't seen as much of the cutter or the slider. It's been a weird day for Jake as far as stuff, the way he usually attacks a lineup.
Yep. They're estimating 428 feet.
That's a pretty good shot right there.
Upper deck.
Yep.
1-2 to the shortstop, Adrianza. Fourth home run of the year for Eddie Rosario. Count still 1-2. The 9th home run given up by Odorizzi. Well, the Rays grab the lead in the top of the 4th. Twins come right back to tie in the bottom of the 4th. Foul the other way. Adrianza drove in the first run with a sacrifice fly to center field in the 2nd. pop up left center, and Borges is there coming in to make the catch. 2 outs. Go back around to the top of the Minnesota lineup. Brian Dozier is grounded to second. The Rays put the shift on, and he hit the ball right to Robertson. A fly ball to left in the second inning. Ball, no strikes.
We just saw that the first pitch slider right there by Odorizzi. Maybe that was even a curveball, but you start to wonder. There's a little cutter right there. Now that you're going to go through this lineup for the 3rd time, will he start to break out those other pitches that we haven't seen a whole lot of? It's definitely been one of those days where it has been a struggle. Nothing's come easy, and so you really try anything you can.
Way wide, and he's 3-0 to Dozier.
Yeah, and we don't typically see Jake Odorizzi, struggling with command.
Green light there. 3-1.
And he got away with one. Boy, he threw a 3-0 fastball that ran back up middle in, and that's where Brian Dozier likes the ball up, and he likes it close to him. That was right in his wheelhouse, and he came up with nothing.
That's wide. Dozier draws the walk. Runner at first with 2 outs. Tomorrow on Fox, the Monster Energy Cup Series heats up under the lights in Charlotte for the longest race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600 at 5:30 Eastern on Fox. Jim Hickey looking on from the Rays dugout. It's been one of those games in which he's with Odorizzi on every pitch, it seems. Joe Mauer fouls it back, strike 1.
And you become so invested, Jim Hickey, especially with these guys that he's worked with for years. And you're so invested in their outings for the good of the pitcher, the team, all of the above. And so on days like this, yeah, you get your pitching coach worn out too, because he's riding every single pitch with you. And nothing's coming easy.
Over to first. And back in is Dozier. Dozier has 7 stolen bases. He's been caught 5 times. He's over there with Mauer at the plate. 2 outs. And another move, that one a little closer.
That was about as close as you get. Hands, fingertips to bag as the tag comes down on the arm. Razor still, Jake Odorizzi stand off the back of the mound waiting for word on whether they want to take a look at this. He's looking right in at Cash, and Cash said, make a pitch.
Away from Mauer. 1-1. Mauer lifetime 2 out of 9 against Odorizzi. It's been one of those battling days for Jake. Ground ball right side. Robertson with a pickup and the easy toss to first. A run on the home run by Rosario. We're tied 2-2 through 4.
field. You're watching Rays baseball on Fox Sports Sun. Hey there, my friends.
Hey, look at this.
Well, you guys asked for it.
Wow.
I had to come up here and deliver it.
That's better than room service.
Right
to
to
the
better
booth.
than room service. Way better than room service. And
we'll be taking the next 3 or 4 innings off, and we'll rejoin you in about the bottom of the
You
8th.
can decide who's going to pay me back the $19 for
is that what that was?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is pretty busy. I don't even know where you would start.
It lasts you all day, though. It's well worth it.
It's true.
$19, and we'll underwrite that.
Yeah.
We might even underwrite another one later.
Hold on.
Oh.
You know what? And Alex,
Cheers, everybody.
you keep the change.
Oh.
Keep the change.
Whoa.
Oh, wait a minute. No, not that. No, that
Hold
was the one
on.
from the back.
Hey, no.
There's too many numbers on it. Hold on. Let's go a little bit further up. There we go. That's better.
There you go.
You got to watch that stuff, D-Wade.
Well, hey.
This is the one where they check this little safety strip.
All right, so how about this thing? You have a loaded cheeseburger, different hot dog, sausage, bratwurst,
Yep.
pickle.
Whatever this guy is. Oh, we got a little meat and cheese deal with a pepper on there. Celery.
Unreal.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty.
It's going to be difficult to finish the game with this here.
You guys got it.
Wow.
Beautiful.
I have
Great
faith.
job.
Thank you.
Great job.
Okay, thank
Enjoy
you.
Up
it.
top.
Appreciate it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fist bump.
And that extra $1, that change, don't go spend that all in one place.
I'll see what I can do. All right, see you guys later.
All
Back
right,
to work.
thanks.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, great addition to the crew.
Yes.
Way to go.
That was a savvy move by Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Hear us talking about it, get a little wind. Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
I'll run one up to the fellas.
Like that.
The problem is now it's here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really want it to be here.
Oh, a cut and a miss. Beckham chased that pitch down. Out on strikes for the first time today. 1 out in the 5th. 6 strikeouts for Mejia. And there's Daniel Robertson. Pitch upstairs. Robertson, fly ball to right. He's been called out on strikes. One and one. Been a struggle for both these pitchers here today. 2-2 ball game through 4. Twins have stranded 6. The Rays have stranded 4. Into right center field. That ball's pretty well hit. Will one hop the wall. Robertson on his way to second with a 2-base hit. And now the Rays have a threat in the 5th. 3rd double of the year for Daniel Robertson.
Well, here it is. Mejia, fastball. Again, they want it in. He leaves it middle away. And when you do that and you leave it up, boy, a hitter can get his arms extended and take that ball the other way. We saw Ricky Weeks Jr. do it. And here Daniel Robertson does it for extra base pop. And another opportunity off of Mejia. You knew that you were going to get them. You just got to keep cashing in because the Twins, they're obviously not going away either.
Evan 0 for 2. Ground ball. Robertson almost caught and stumbled trying to get back to second. And Longoria is thrown out. We got a little bit out toward no man's land, and then suddenly that infield dirt became a little loose to move in.
Well, the adrenaline kicks in right there, and you are just scrambling to get back there. The last thing you want to do is go back to that dugout after being caught off at second base. Everything a little haywire. That right there is what today's game feels like. That little him getting off the bag is today's ball game. Little out of sorts.
It has been that. Here we are almost halfway through in the top of the 5th. And Logan Morrison, who scored the first run, has a chance to give the Rays the lead. He'll have to do it with a 2-out hit. Morrison 1 out of 2. He takes the pitch down in behind the catcher Jimenez. Beginning June 15th, greatest players in the world descend upon Erin Hills for one of golf's most anticipated events of the year. Dustin Johnson looks to defend his title, but Jason Day, Jordan Spieth, and Roy McIlroy are primed to tame golf's ultimate test. The 117th U.S. Open begins June 15th on Fox, FS1, and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Wide with that one. Fastball outside. A 2-0 count on the Rays' first baseman. Look out, a foul ball, and that was headed in Souza's direction on deck. 2-1. Neither pitcher has had a chance to develop much of a rhythm today. It's been a disjointed situation for both of them, and therefore the nature of the game has been like that today.
It's amazing how starting pitching, it really does set the tone for the day. It does. And with both guys not on the top of their game, that's exactly how this game's played out. 2 times the Rays have had the lead, 2 times the Twins immediately answer. You're just kind of slogging through, look to see who's going to kind of get on track first. And bullpens are slowly but surely going to be coming into play.
Tyler Duffy, the right-hander, up in the bullpen for Minnesota. 90 pitches now for Mejia. Ground ball headed to short. That will end the inning. The Rays leave a man at second, do not score. 2-2 game, mid-5. Sports Sun brought to you by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. By Jeep. Get great deals at the Jeep Spring Clearance event. And by Pinch a Penny, the perfect people for a perfect pool. On we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Rays and the Twins squaring off in the middle game of this 3-game series. Robbie Grossman leads off and sends a fly ball into center. That's Kiermaier drifting to his right, and he's got it. So 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th.
And how about Jake starting Grossman out first pitch curveball? Probably not expecting a swing, but you know what? You'll take it. Not too many guys going to attack that pitch. And Jake's starting to mix it up a little bit here, 3rd time through. Not like Jake at all. We talked about just 7 walks in his last 5 starts combined, 3 here this afternoon already.
1-0. It's just been one of those days for him where he has not been exactly the way he'd like to be.
And you know what, Dwayne, that's okay. Now, you know, it's one of those things where you're not going to feel great every time you go out there.
Yeah, not all. No, absolutely
you know,
not.
I mean,
you divide them into that handful of really good starts.
Yeah.
And you hope a smaller handful of the really bad ones.
Right.
And then you got a bunch in the middle of varying degrees, and somewhere in there you're going to have to really battle, try to figure out how to get guys out. That's what Jake's been doing today.
That's your season. Those middle 20 games. You get the 5 great, the 5 terrible. You know, the middle 20. That's where you're going to make or break your season. And you're right, he's fighting for everything today.
Kepler's going to roll this one toward the corner. Extra bases. He got it in between Longoria and the bag and up the left field line. Kepler now is in scoring position. It seems every inning there's something like that. The Twins have had men on base in every inning, men in scoring position in 4 of the 5, and now this.
Well, he got that fastball that kind of got in on him, but he just inside outs it. There's plenty of room up that line. Longoria playing well off the line. And here another threat.
Well, Kenny's Vargas, he singled to start the 2nd and scored. And then with 2 men on and 1 out in the 3rd, Odorizzi managed to strike him out on a fastball up. Starts him there and a cut and a miss, strike 1.
You know, this is what you envisioned all day long against Vargas. He sees the ball well, he wants to go get it, but he's not. His swing isn't made to get to that pitch up in the zone. And that's why the back-to-back changeups that led to his hit, that was a little odd. But Jake now trying to find that fastball up.
One ball, 1 strike. One and 2. Fastball there.
All day long. All day long. He's not going to be able to help himself. If you execute it, you're going to get another strikeout right here.
One, 2. Laid off the pitch up. 2 and 2.
This is where, as a pitcher, you start to say, how many times am I going to go to that well? When is it time to go away from that pitch? And I say with this hitter, there is no time. You just keep going. He's going to swing at one of them.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And it's fouled back. Stayed with that pitch. You know, there's a lot of thinking that goes into that. If he takes a pitch and he gets to 2 strikes, tough for him to take it again. And they want to swing.
Yeah, and you get him into swing mode, and then it's just, I'll walk you up another inch or 2, and eventually you're not going to be able to get to it.
And he lays off to take the count full.
Oh, this is an interesting little battle here. I thought as soon as that ball left Odorizzi's hand, I'm like, that's it. That's the swing and a miss, strike 3. And this is actually a really good take by Vargas. That ball barely above the zone.
The psychology for both the pitcher and the hitter different. 3-2 here. Action pitch, and he swings, fouling it back. So he went for that one.
I mean, look at this at bat.
Yep.
We said, you know, that Jake Odorizzi more than likely, or at least he should, make that adjustment as the game moved on. He got him struck out in his last at bat, and now this one, we're not even going to mess with anything. I'm just going to throw 7 straight heaters in the same general area, or at least try to.
And a step back by Jake.
Want to make sure. Any doubt, what do they tell you? Step off.
Yep.
And this is a big battle right in the middle of this game. Meaningful.
He goes up, and a high pop foul out of play. So Jake is staying right with it. It's 8 pitches in.
This is where the game is interesting, because this is where it becomes robotic. You've got a swing path that can't get to my heater up consistently. This whole at bat is just going to be nothing but the one pitch after the other in the same area. That's 9 in a row.
There you go.
When before in the game of baseball did you see someone with a fastball that was 92 to 94, and you go up against a certain hitter and throw 9 straight fastballs in the same area?
Yeah.
You never saw it.
Remember, the idea was that really good hitters, you don't want to give them the same look repeatedly. Well, Vargas has got it 9 times in a row.
It's pretty remarkable.
And another foul ball.
I mean, this is actually fascinating.
It is now. It's double figures.
Yeah.
10 pitches.
And they both, up to this point, there's been no doubt about what Jake was going to do. Vargas knows it. Jake, everybody on the field knows it. He still can't get to it. He's able to foul it off now. That's great, but how high is he willing to go?
And the foul ball again. So that's 11 pitches in. Fastball after fastball. And a high foul, that's out of play.
Getting closer to putting it in play.
No.
See, you're moving away from the swing and a miss. You got into the foul balls back, and now you're starting to get those foul balls swinging around towards the field. So Vargas is ever so slightly, I mean slightly, making the adjustment.
The 13th pitch of this at bat about to be made. Fly ball into center field. Here comes Kiermaier closing to make the catch. And back into second goes Kiermaier, or Kepler on the catch by Kiermaier. How about that? Vargas and Odorizzi hooked up. And look at all of those pitches. 13 pitches.
Oh, and he finally got him in. It wasn't even up, but he got it in at least hand level, and got the soft fly ball to center field. But that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is baseball, the new generation of baseball. Spin rate, swing path, they don't match up. We're just going to go there one after the other, even if it's 13 in a row.
Jim Hickey spending a little time with Odorizzi out there.
And that has more to do with giving Odorizzi a blow before this at bat. That was a high intensity at bat, with 13 straight hard fastballs.
Has him to 100 pitches. And Eduardo Escobar is the hitter with Kepler at second. And a little breaking ball. Escobar singled into second. Swing and a miss. Back with the fastball. 0-2. Rays have Chase Whitley, the right-hander, up in the bullpen. We're in the bottom of the fifth. A 2-2 game. Kepler at second, 2 outs, 2 strikes to Escobar. Fly ball into left. That's going to send Borges back, but not yet to the track. He makes the catch and retires the side. Through 5, tied 2-2. Well, you figured you're going to hear from them before the season's over. You have to. I mean, the first quarter of the season has just been a nightmare for them. And they get some people healthy. That's why the East's still going to be very interesting with all these clubs. You know, the Rays are showing that if they can address a couple little areas, they could be an interesting team to watch. Rough start for Toronto. They'll be heard from. We go to the 6th with Steven Souza Jr. Tyler Duffy, the new pitcher. 5 innings for Mejia. 6 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. A 1-1 count here on Souza Jr. Two and one. Kiermaier next, and then Weeks. Duffy 9 and 12 a year ago. Fastball, curveball. See the change occasionally.
Tries to give you a little bit of deception in the delivery, really closed off, and then just kind of pulls that ball over. Another guy with the lower arm angle.
Duffy out of Rice University. And strike 3 call. Souza Jr. trying to coax the walk, and Carlos Torres won't go for it.
No, and Souza Jr., I think, is asking where that pitch was. That looked good. That looked like a good pitch from Duffy. It's definitely on the plate right there at the bottom of the zone.
Seventh strikeout for Minnesota pitching. Kevin Kiermaier. Kevin's had a little bit of a turnaround. Big cut and a miss down to one knee. Our Toyota inside look. Last 14 games, .333. The on-base percentage pushing .400 there.
Yeah, that's big. You know, he's going to give you the occasional home run.
Out to short. And Kiermaier's out number 2 on the ground ball.
But what you want to see from Kiermaier is that consistent ability to get on base, because with his speed, he puts so much pressure on the defense. You know, even on that play right there, there's a ground ball to the shortstop and fielded cleanly. The throw is made, and it is a half a step. I mean, that's what he's able to do.
Well, Weeks has been on twice with a walk and a single. Duffy skips it to the backstop. 1-0. One and one. He's ahead of Weeks. The ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Duffy making that transition. He had 26 starts a year ago. Now coming exclusively out of the bullpen. That allows you to just turn things loose.
And a ground ball bounced toward the middle, backhanded by Dozier, and cannot get a good throw away. Weeks is aboard. That's an infield single up the middle, and Weeks is on for the 3rd straight time.
That breaking ball, once that got by Duffy, yeah, Dozier gets to it, but there's no way he's going to be able to, number one, set himself and make a throw, or throw on the run heading out towards left field to get Weeks. And so the Rays extend the inning. Base runners all day.
Well, Derek Norris has driven in both runs for the Rays up here with a man on and 2 outs. And there's a drive back into deep left center field. Kepler at the track in front of the wall makes the catch, and a couple steps left right out there in front of the bullpens. Still tied at 2. tie ball game in our game summary. The Rays got Logan Morrison home in the second inning on a base hit from Derek Norris, only to see the Twins come right back in the bottom of the inning. Adrianza lifted a fly ball, scoring Kenny Vargas. Rays grabbed the lead again in the fourth inning. Derek Norris lifting a fly ball to center, scoring Kevin Kiermaier. But an Eddie Rosario home run in the bottom of the fourth tied this game. We're tied moving into the bottom of the sixth inning. Twins have had men on base in every inning. They've had men in scoring position in 4 of the 5 innings, and the Rays have had men on base in every inning except the first. Jake Odorizzi, 21 pitches in the fifth, 13 to Vargas, 103 on the day. And here's Chris Jimenez to open the bottom of the sixth. Jimenez, Rosario, and then the shortstop, Adrianza. One and one. High foul, lifted straight back. 1-2. Ryan Stanek up in the bullpen for the Rays.
And you wonder how long Jake Odorizzi is going to go here. It has not been easy. The pitch count, at 106 and counting. A lot of high leverage pitches in this game because there have been a lot of base runners in trouble.
That's a ball, and the count is 2-2. 114 is his high pitch count this year. That came in 6 innings in the loss to Kansas City. It was 3 starts ago. And now the count's full on Jimenez.
And remember, Eddie Rosario, who's on deck, is the one that hit the home run into the upper deck in his last at bat. So you've got to make a pitch here and then wonder if Cash will go and get Jake or allow him to face Rosario. First things first. Oh,
and that is strike 3 call.
I always wonder on those. If you're Chris Jimenez, what are you looking for? That's how you get locked up on that. And whether you're looking fastball or not, that's a little cut fastball, but that's a cut fastball that is right out over the heart of the plate in a full count. And you just take it. You're certainly not looking curveball. Maybe you're sitting on the changeup, but I don't know. He'll take it.
Here's Rosario. The breaking ball stays wide. Rosario, fly ball to left, and the home run to right center field, 428 feet into the upper deck. Chases the fastball up out of the zone for strike 1. Liner into center. Base hit. Rosario with a big turn, but decides to hang on and not challenge Kiermaier. Rosario has his second hit. 7th surrendered by Odorizzi today. Hickey on the bullpen phone there.
Yep, giving instructions to Stan Borowski on who he wants up, who's ready. And Alvarado's starting to stir now and throw. Stanek's already hot.
1 on, 1 out. Adrianza is up here. He drove in a run with a fly ball to center in the second. Fly ball to left in the fourth, so he officially is 0 for 1. Rosario, the runner at first. The bunt attempt is foul. Runners on base in every inning for Minnesota. Same thing for the Rays, with the exception of the first when they were retired and ordered. Jake up to 113 pitches. And now it's 1-1.
Yeah, they're really pushing Jake here this afternoon, but he's the type of guy that not only can handle it physically, but can handle it mentally. Maturing, learning, just like we saw today, and talked about how he's been battling, trying to figure out ways to get outs. None of them have come particularly easy. He'll sleep well tonight, I'll tell you that much. These are the types of games that exhaust you. Not only are you pitching deep into the game in a lot of pitches, but your mind has been working overtime.
That will be a strike, and the count is a ball, 2 strikes. Well, this is the deepest he's pitched into a game in terms of pitch count this year. Count still 1-2. 7-inning outing in a win over the Blue Jays. He made 107 pitches. And then that outing followed that against Kansas City. 114, and he's up to 116 right now. Trying to get the number 9 hitter. It's foul straight back into the stands. Well, Jake's approach lends itself to a lot of foul balls, but we've had more today than usual. A lot of deep counts. Move to first and back in safely head first, Rosario. Runner goes. The pitch hit on the ground, right side. Plays at first, out there. Robertson makes the play. Rosario moves up to second. So 2 outs with the top of the order due up, and Kevin Cash is going to make a move. Out of the dugout he comes. So it's been a long day for Jake Odorizzi, and we're going to get a call to the Rays bullpen. in Minnesota this Memorial Day weekend. Fox Sports Supports proud to team up with Homes for Our Troops, building mortgage-free, specially adapted homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Learn more about how Homes for Our Troops is enabling veterans to rebuild their lives. For info, visit foxsportsupports.com. Jake Odorizzi departs. He works 5 2/3. Technically will have walked 4. The Rays will send Dozier to first before officially bringing Alvarado into the game to face Mauer. And 118 pitches for Odorizzi. Eleventh appearance for Alvarado. He will have Rosario at second and Dozier at first to face Joe Mauer.
Man, that's interesting, the way that sets up on when you actually intentionally walk somebody and who that's going to get pinned on in case they come around to score.
So it's Mauer and Alvarado. The first pitch is a strike at 98.
Boy, just bury it into the zone. Alvarado, he just continues to impress, and you can see the ceiling that this kid has. Good fastball, good slider, command obviously the issue, but boy, when he's in the zone, he is difficult to deal with, to say the least.
It's a foul ball the other way, out of play. 0-2. Alvarado last worked on Wednesday in the Angels series. Just an inning in relief of Erasmo Ramirez. Enters this game tied 2-2. The lefty-righty matchup's good either way.
Yeah, if he can keep from hurting himself with walks, you're going to be hard pressed to put an inning together against him.
Upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rosario at second, Dozier at first. One tap, a foul ball. The count remains 1-2. And at this point, Alvarado has given the Rays another dimension in their bullpen. Seen signs of that from the right side from Stanek. 2 strong arms, a lefty and a righty. And that's a foul back, out of play. Mauer fouling the fastball that registered 99. These teams exchanged single runs in the second and again in the 4th inning. We're tied 2-2 in the 6th. Fly ball into left. Gorgeous. Right there to make the catch. We'll go to the 7th inning. Still tied 2-2. Rays and the Twins, middle game of the 3-game series. First Friday in St. Petersburg. Got some added baseball magic next weekend. The Rays will be hosting a pop-up party at Park and Rec at 104th Street South from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mingle with your favorite Rays friends like Raymond and DJ Fresh and enjoy drink specials including a Rays themed drink, Rays Up. Kobe Rasmus will open the 7th inning, coming on to hit for Peter Borges with the right-hander Tyler Duffy in the game. Rasmus takes the first pitch wide. Beckham and Robertson due to follow. Ground ball back to the hill. And the toss to first. So Rasmus pinch hitting is retired. And we go back to the top side of the order. Beckham, who singled, stole a base in the 3rd, but was left there. The Rays went down 1-2-3 in the 1st inning. Scored a run, left 2 in the 2nd. Left a man in the 3rd, scored a run, left a man in the 4th, left a man in the 5th, and left a man in the 6th. Now 1 out into the 7th. Twins have left men on base in every inning. Strike 1 to Beckham. Minnesota leaving a man on in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 2 in the 6th. Tap 0-2. One of those days when the starting pitchers were not overly sharp as they might ordinarily be, and the teams with opportunities to score but just could not put a couple of opportunities for really big innings together.
Man, it was right there. Like you said, both teams. The Rays had Mejia in trouble, and the Twins pushed Jake a little bit. It's been a long game, low scoring, not a lot happening, but plenty of trouble. Just very odd game here this afternoon. And who's going to be able to close out and
swing and a miss. Beckham out on strikes as he backs away. 2 up and 2 down.
You know, Dwayne Duffy's come in here and actually settled things down here for the Twins. You know, good breaking ball. The way he throws his fastball. See how he's able to create that angle up and away on the outside corner, maybe just off the plate. His breaking ball's had a lot of action to it. It's big. It's got some depth to it. It sweeps. More slurve than anything else.
Robertson takes the pitch down. You see the starters. Jake Odorizzi, 118 pitches in 5 2/3, 7 hits. And Mejia, 5 innings, 6 hits, and a couple runs.
All crooked numbers. No zeros, no ones. So that kind of tells you exactly how this game has gone.
Robertson doubled in the 5th. Base is empty, 2 outs in the 7th for him. Good pitch sharp, the breaking ball. 1 and 2. Now a play. Fouling a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Rays line up top to bottom. 7 hits in there. A couple of walks. Robertson, did he go? He held up. Check in the nick of time, and the count goes to 3-2.
Take a look. Yes, he did. Well, you got to be pretty strong there in that forearm wrist area. You get that swing started like he did and hold up.
And he draws the walk. So after the check swing, a base on balls. With 2 outs, that will get Evan Longoria to the plate. Evans 0 for 3 today after an 0 for 4 last night. And a 2 for 5 against Duffy in his career with a home run. Pitch is down. Duffy was 5-1 with the Twins in 15, and as we mentioned earlier, 9-12 in 26 starts a year ago, with an earned run average over 6. Upstairs behind Longoria, and we'll get a visit from Chris Jimenez. Two-out walk has put Robertson aboard. 2-0 the count to Evan. And he fouls the fastball. 2-1. Duffy came in with a 2-0 pitch that Evan liked, but he fouled it. That's been the name of the game today.
Yeah, it has. And Evan here recently, we saw it last night too. You know, a couple of pitches out over the plate that he is. You're used to him just mashing them, and now fouling him off.
And under this one, pops it up. Adrianza makes the catch out from short. We're in the middle of the 7th now, tied 2-2. We welcome you back to Minneapolis, where the Rays and the Twins are about to move into the bottom of the 7th inning. This one in the hands of the bullpens now. Derek Norris has driven in both Rays runs with a single in the 2nd, fly ball in the 4th. Twins got a sacrifice fly from Ere Adrianza, their shortstop, in the 2nd, and a home run from Eddie Rosario in the 4th. Rays will have Kobe Rasmus out there in left after pinch hitting for Borges. So Rasmus in left. Alvarado on the hill. Robbie Grossman, the switch hitting outfielder, from the right side now, and he takes the pitch too low. He was 1 for 2 with a walk from the left side against Odorizzi. Inside. Alvarado got Mauer to end the 6th. Grossman has been a better left-handed hitter than right-handed hitter this year, given the opportunity, but that's here against the lefty Alvarado. He's ahead in the count.
Didn't that seem to be the case most of the time? Switch hitters a little bit better from the left side, or a lot better from the left side. I switch hit. I was equally bad at both. So,
an equal opportunity offender.
Yeah. What kind of sense does that make? You know, in the National League, it's not like you get a lot of time to work on hitting anyway as a pitcher. And then the little time that you do get, I decide to split it up between both sides.
Well, in a way, you're just trying to increase your odds, though. You know, if you're
I didn't. That's the thing. I didn't.
Yeah, but you tried. Okay,
it's not a tri-league. It's not a tri-league, and that's what I tell my son all the time. It's not a it's a do league. I want to hear how you tried.
Well, you tried to figure out a strategy to do. The do just didn't work.
Well, and that's fact.
2-2 the count here on Grossman. Well, you figure if you're a switch hitter, you're going to swing from the left side more than you are from the right side.
That's true. You know, that was something that I started, early on. I'd go play games in the backyard by myself, throwing up the ball and hitting it. And I would memorize lineups of teams.
Sure, and you would swing.
That's right. If he was a lefty, he would hit lefty, and back and forth. That's how I learned how to do it. But I always liked the pitcher's arm away from me. Yeah, I felt like right on right. It felt like that arm was right on top of me. I didn't like that. I didn't like, obviously, breaking balls breaking away from me either. I wanted them to be breaking in towards me.
Yep.
And that was another driving force the older that I got. I mean, there was a time there with Arizona, they forced me, to hit all one way, and that was, not too much fun. So had to wear the big elbow guard from time to time.
Yeah, protect that. That left elbow.
That wasn't too fun.
So Farquhar busy in the bullpen for the Rays. And ball 4 upstairs. Grossman draws a walk. The 5th given up by Rays pitching today. Well, let's do a flashback. Look at this from the left side.
Wall scraper.
There you go. Home run.
Right in.
That's how you swing the bat.
And poor Mark Gardner. I was the first hitter he faced. He had to be coming in thinking, okay, I'm facing the pitcher, and here we go. And no one could believe what they saw. I don't blame them.
First home run, Brian Anderson. Here's Kepler putting down a bunt down the third base side, and it's a foul ball.
Kepler has been trying to get a bunt down this entire series, it seems like. But every other at bat, he's trying to challenge Longoria down there at third base. Now, he's got good wheels. We've seen that already. And that's one of those situations where even if Longoria is able to make a play, you're saying to yourself, okay, he gets me at first. It's still, you know, a sacrifice. Get the runner into scoring position with one out. Or maybe I can beat it out and get a hit.
Twins have Buxton running at first. 1 ball, 1 strike to Kepler. Grossman lifted after drawing the walk. There's Buxton. So they have great speed over there now with the leadoff walk. Leadoff walk's bad enough, but then they had Buxton on the bench to run. Alvarado goes over there. So you got Buxton aboard with the middle of the order due up behind him. Now 2-1. The Twins have had men on base in every inning. This is the first time they put the leadoff man on since the second. Over to first on the step. Back in Buxton. A different look there.
Yeah, well, you're trying to do anything you can to keep him close, and that's, you know, Paul Molitor throws Buxton out there, obviously tremendous speed, but you've got a young pitcher out on the mound who's now going to pay him close attention. Maybe that leads to a hittable pitch for Kepler.
Three and one. At 100, just out of the zone. Pretty close.
Very close here.
Kepler has 2 hits, a single and a double. It's a strike to run the count all the way full. Five and 2/3 for Odorizzi. Alvarado finished off the 6th. In the 7th with a man aboard. 3-2 to Kepler. Buxton's on the move, and the pitch lifted into left center field. Rasmus over there to make the catch and gets rid of the ball, heaves it back into the infield as quickly as he could. Well, Rasmus got over there and extended that long arm to haul that fly ball in, and Buxton retreats to first.
Yeah, off the bat, you're thinking this has a chance to get by him. Well, he takes a nice angle and a nice backhanded catch. Buxton was already on his way to third base. Now he's got to go back, touch second, and hustle all the way back to first. Kevin Cash out to the mound, and another move to be made.
So Vargas due up. That's going to be it for Alvarado. Back in a moment. 1 on 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hey, here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live. 3-game show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Alex Cobb will be on the hill. The right-hander starting for the Rays. We'll hear from him. And Major League Baseball honors the troops this Memorial Day weekend. Farquhar on. And Miguel Sano will pinch hit for Kenny Vargas. Sano 0 for 4 last night against the combination of Archer and Colomé. So 19 pitches for Alvarado, 118 for Odorizzi. Moved to first. And Buxton is back in. And another move over there. Sano fouls the fastball in on him. And this one thrown away. Buxton will go all the way to third. Morrison tracking it down. And they're going to stop Buxton at third base. So just like that, Buxton winds up at third on the errant pickoff attempt at first by Farquhar.
You know, Dwayne, that was the third throw over by Farquhar, and all three were to the backhand side. After the second one, you could see Logan Morrison motioning to him, hey, give me this thing out in front. See, this one's down and away again. Now watch, he throws it back. Watch what he does with his glove. Hey, over here. Give it to me over here so we have a chance. And then the very next one, another backhand, and he can't get to it. Not able to execute that play, and you just threw Byron Buxton a triple.
He's there with 1 out. And that's strike 2 to Sano. Up and in. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Way, way up and in. You get up into dangerous territory there, but you bend Sano back, and now you've got a chance to go for that strikeout. Something off speed. You think about the changeup, something down and away.
Way wide up this time. Those last 2.
Yeah, he's trying to end it with just pure overthrowing is what he's ended up doing. It's why he's missed so badly. But still, calm down, deep breath, 2-2 count. You need a punch out here. At least you'd like one.
And he misses way inside. So last 3 pitches, big margin misses. Escobar on deck. And a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. 2 gone.
And that's 5 at-bats against the Rays in this series. 5 punch-outs for Sano. Change-up right there, and he just pulls wildly off of it. The hips open up. All the power's gone. The head comes undone. And that's what he's prone to do. That's a big, big strikeout for Farquhar and the Rays.
Here's Eduardo Escobar. Escobar 1 for 3 today. It's just a bit in. Leadoff walk by Grossman. Buxton running for him. He's at third now on the errant pickoff attempt. Cut and a miss, 1-1. This is the high fastball. Escobar 0 for 3 in his career against Farquhar. The count's a ball and a strike. 2-1. It's Chris Jimenez, the on deck man. It's Escobar and Farquhar right here. And the change takes the count to 2-2. Two. Swing and a fly ball to left. Rasmus will go back and make the catch to retire the side. Twins leave a man at third. On to the 8th. 2-2. Fellas at the Fox Sports studio.
They sound like they're taking this game better than we are.
They're having a lot of fun.
Well, there's a lot of time to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, we're going to move into the 8th with Taylor Rogers, the left-hander, taking over. Pitcher number 3 for Minnesota. Buxton will stay on and play center field. Kepler moves over to right as we play here in the 8th inning. Grossman lifted for the pinch runner. Logan Morrison will open the 8th here against the left-hander, and he takes the pitch for a strike.
A fastball, curveball, changeup from Rogers. More than likely, Logan Morrison's not going to see a changeup. He's going to attack the left-handers with the fastball, the curveball. You want to go up here.
It's a little tapper, first base side foul. 0-2. It's been a frustrating day for both teams. The Rays have left men on base in every inning except the first, and the Twins have left a man on base, at least one man, in every inning. And 3 times they've left 2 men on. Now the Rays face the 26-year-old left-hander. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rogers in 57 games last year, 3-1 with a 396 earned run average. 2-2. Lifted into center, straight in comes Buxton to his spot, stops and makes the catch. 1 out in the 8th. Now Steven Souza Jr. with a walk today, officially 0 for 2. $7,531 here for this one today. Pitch inside, 1 ball, no strikes. It's been a pleasant day, a little overcast. The Twins have had to deal with some less than stellar weather in the early part of this season. 2-0. In fact, I had an opportunity to talk with Frank Marks, the noted baseball historian and member of SABR, and that catch this series in from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and he'd done some research on dates and decent weather and not so decent weather here. And by his estimation, the Twins have had only 42% of their home games played in weather that was what you might call somewhat comfortable in the early part of this season. We would define that as at least 62 degrees, no rain, 10 miles per hour. So just a little over 40% has hit that mark. And as we mentioned yesterday, they'd had 5 postponements. They've made up a couple of those games. That's why they've played a number of games more than the Rays. So a little informal research done there by Mr. Marks. On the ground ball to short. Souza hustling down the line, but the scoop made by Mauer on the throw from the Minnesota shortstop. That retires Souza Jr.
Boy, a heavy gator arm there by Adrianza. It looked to be a routine play. Ground ball to short. Souza hustling, and he cuts this throw off big time. Right into the ground, and he gets way bailed out there by Joe Mauer. That ball actually hit in the grass. That's how short it was. And Joe Mauer, you can see how you get down. You can try to get that head as low as you can to be able to read that ball coming off the dirt or the grass wherever it's coming, and that was well done by the Twin first baseman.
First pitch curveball, a strike to Kiermaier. It stayed in and then broke to catch the corner at the last moment. Ground ball for Mauer, and he's going to hustle to the bag to beat Kiermaier in unassisted. 3 up, 3 down, go the Rays in the 8th. We're still tied 2-2. Today's Geico great moment. It was on this day back in 2001. Gerald Williams with a base hit, getting Davey Martinez home in the bottom of the 10th to give the Rays a 4-3 walk-off victory over the Angels.
You know, there are times, Dwayne, that you look back on historical teams years ago and you look at some of the uniforms and you're like, what were you ever thinking wearing that uniform? You know what I mean? But usually it's something that happens after the fact. I can remember those Angel uniforms from back in 01 and that era. Those were bad then. And you're like, you know, I mean, they obviously have cleaned them up.
Really?
And they're nice.
These?
I mean, that was like the first year with the Diamondbacks after the expansion draft when we had the ice cream, you know, hats with all white with a purple bill.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
There's nothing big league about that.
3-0 count to Chris Jimenez. The Rays get Tommy Hunter up in the bullpen. And ball 4. He walks Jimenez on 4 pitches to open the 8th. And boy, here's a guy hitting 180 coming into the game. The Rays have walked him twice today. And that's a stumper for a manager and a pitching coach.
The look on Kevin Cash's face says it all. Wondering exactly what's going on. You know, you're at the bottom of the 8th. It's a tie ball game. It has been sloppy at times. Non-existent action, yet runners on base all the time. It's been, like I said, it's a weird game, and to walk Jimenez on 4 pitches is something you just cannot allow.
Eddie Rosario's the hitter. Now he bunts. Longoria is going to make the throw to first. Morrison back to take the throw. So immediately they bunt Jimenez up to second.
That's a nice job by Rosario to get this thing down. This ball's up in the zone. Look at where that was. That's dangerous. Those a lot of times get popped up, but he got the bat in a good angle. And he was able to pop that thing down and move the runner. That's a nice job by Rosario.
Well, the Twins continue to put men on base in every inning. In fact, they've had men in scoring position in every inning except the first now. The Rays going down 1-2-3 for the second time in the top half of the 8th. And here's Ehire Adrianza. Twins shortstop with a 1-ball, no strike count. He drove in a run with a sacrifice fly to center field in the second. Officially 0 for 2 with a fly ball and a ground ball. Ground ball first base. Morrison will make the pickup and step on the bag. 2 outs in the 8th. Top of the order, Brian Dozier is due. Kevin Cash is going to go to the bullpen. He's up out of the dugout and already on his way to the mound. So that's it for Farquhar, and we'll be back in a moment. You again tomorrow when Alex Cobb goes to the Hill. Our coverage begins at 1:30 on Fox Sports Sun. Alex, over his last 5 starts, 3-2 with an ERA just over 3. He's been doing wonders with a fastball curveball combination and occasionally checking on the changeup to see what kind of action he gets there. And Kyle Gibson will do the pitching for the Minnesota Twins with a wrap-up game of the first series on this 3-city road trip for the Rays. Well, Tommy Hunter will get the call here against Brian Dozier. Farquhar out of the game after an inning and a third. Hunter came off the disabled list. He pitched an inning Thursday in the Angels series. And this pitch is down to Dozier. Low and away, 2-0. Jimenez at third, 2 gone. He moved up on the ground ball. Tapper foul. It's 2-1. Jimenez running at third. Fly ball back into deep right field. Souza looking up, and that one is out of here. Dozier hits his 7th home run of the year, and that will give Minnesota the lead, making it 4-2.
Well, you figure it's Brian Dozier, 42 home runs a year ago. The Twins, not very many big hits on the day, and he would come through right there. That ball away from him, but he puts a good swing on it, and he does have the juice to get it out to right center, and he showed it right here. That ball absolutely no doubt off the bat, and the Twins take control late.
Joe Mauer, that 8th inning home run, and the Rays suddenly find themselves down by 2. Pitch a strike to Mauer. Well, one of those runs charged to Farquhar. One to count. Foul ball, now 1-2. So Rogers and Farquhar become the pitchers of record. Hunter gives up the 2-run blast, but Jimenez, who walked on 4 pitches to start the inning, that run is charged to Farquhar. Fouling that one off that protector on Right leg there. And he comes back with a base hit up the left side, and it kicks away from Rasmus. Mauer's on his way to second, turns second, and stops there. Mauer's first hit today.
Well, you know, he kind of inside out that ball, Dwayne, to left field, and Colby Rasmus ends up getting himself too close to that low wall out there. And that's what that carom. Look how he pulls the hands in, keeps the barrel in the zone. And then right here, Colby gets too close to the wall, and that ball comes off hot and gets right by him. That allows Mauer to move up to second base.
And most of the time, it'll hit that padding, and I think it hit the concrete below the padding.
I think you're right.
And really ricocheted out of there. Well, here's Buxton. He entered as a pinch runner in the 7th inning, and now his first at bat of the day comes in the 8th. Pitch is low, 1-0. Home run and a double given up by Hunter. Two balls, no strikes. Two and one. Strike at the knees. 2-2. Buxton thought it was low. The 2-2. Ground ball headed toward the middle, and that's going to get through past the diving Robertson. That will score Mauer. Twins make it a 3-run inning. Third straight hit picked up off Hunter. It seemed that Buxton just guided that one through.
That's exactly what he did. He got that breaking ball down and away, and that long reach, he was able to get it, keep it in the middle of the field. A great job by Robertson trying to keep that ball in the infield. That would have prevented Mauer from scoring, but that effort to no avail, and Twins now by 3. They woke up late.
There's Max Kepler. Minnesota had left 10 men on base through the first 7. And they break through for a 3-run 8th. We estimated Dodgers home run at 426. The strike at the knees, tracked in by Kepler. Goes the runner, and there will be no throw. Buxton steals second base. It's a 1-1 count to Kepler. Buxton now 7 of 8 in the steal department this year. Popped up, carry out a play. 1-2 to Kepler. It's quickly turned into a 3-run game. Hunter facing his 4th hitter.
Not exactly the return that Tommy Hunter or the Rays had in mind, but you know, his matchup with Brian Dozier was going to be a tough one. Dozier, a good fastball hitter. You know you're going to see some fastballs from Tommy Hunter, and it's not like he's a pinpoint command guy.
Ground ball right side. Robertson after it, and the throw to first in time. 7 men come to the plate. 3 of them score, and we're going to go into the 9th inning. Home run by Dozier, a 2-run shot. Buxton single home another run, and it's 5-2 Minnesota. Ball is presented by Jeep. Rays head into the 9th inning, and suddenly they find themselves trailing by 3. It's a 5-2 ball game. The home run, the big blow off the bat of Brian Dozier in the 8th inning. And so here we go into the 9th. Brandon Kinsler, 12 of 13 in the save department in the game now.
Well, you can see not a big strikeout guy. He's got 13 in 21 innings, relies upon his defense, which, by the way, the Twins have a pretty good defense out there. But he's been very successful, 12 out of 13, and he's working with the maximum here, a 3-run lead.
Well, Michael Martinez will pinch hit to open the 9th inning. Weeks had started against the lefty, was on 3 times, and now Martinez will hit. The pitch is wide, 1 ball, no strikes. Derek Norris next, and then Rasmus due to hit 3rd. One. Kinsler 32 years old. Ground ball and a diving stop. Dozier gets up and the throw to first in time. So Dozier, who hit the home run in the 8th, makes a fine play in the 9th inning to keep Martinez and the leadoff man for the Rays off the bases.
Well, here it is. That ball well struck by Martinez, but Brian Dozier raised a couple of steps and a dive, and that ball bounced right up and had a good look at it and a really nice play.
Derek Norris, who's driven on both runs for the Rays. Fastball misses.
That was the reverse, Dwayne. Usually it's the guy makes a great play in the field and is leading off the next inning.
That's right.
Now you get the big hit and you make the great play leading off the next half inning.
Well, a good part of this game has been upside down all day with a lot of missed opportunities. Dozier out from second to take care of that. So he has a home run in the 8th and now an assist and a put out defensively in the 9th. Kobe Rasmus, who pinch hit in the 7th to get into this game. Last hope for the Rays. Rays had some chances down the middle. Minnesota had a ton of chances all day and finally cashed in the 8th. Swing and a miss, strike one. Rays had gone a game over 500 with the win here last night, 5-2, and they trail by that score today. On the verge of falling back to the 500 mark. That would set up the final game of the series tomorrow afternoon with Alex Cobb and Kyle Gibson squaring off. Kinsler throws a strike, and now it's a ball, 2-strike count. Kinsler, a long time with Milwaukee. Spent last year with the Twins. Just a bit in. 2-2. Upstairs. So the count goes full. Kinsler, 54 games last year. And wound up 17 of 20 in the save department. Trying to go 13 of 14 this year. High shot back into deep right. That ball is going to get out of here. And that one lands in the upper deck off the bat of Kobe Rasmus to make it a 5-3 ball game. So with 2 outs, Rasmus unloads one. And now the Rays need a base runner to have a chance to tie it.
Down and in. And Kobe Rasmus knew it. That ball was hit pretty well. And now the Rays get themselves to the point where you think about a base runner and try to do it again. Kinsler not overpowering, and Rasmus keeps it alive.
Here's Tim Beckham.
By the way,
bounces it foul.
The guy who caught the ball out deep right center field threw it back in, and he threw it all the way in. He almost hit Brian Dozier right in the head.
Really?
It went right over the top of him. I don't know if we have any shot of that, but yeah, he fired it in and about took out the all-star second baseman for the Twins.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Dozier touched for the home run. Beckham down, 2 strikes. Dickerson is on deck. A little tapper foul. So the Rays would love a chance to get Dickerson to swing the bat with a man on base.
Now, Dwayne, here it is. I'm going to throw it back. Now he lets this thing go. Watch where it ends up.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah. Not a big fan of that.
Oh, no. And so you might want to sign him until he almost knocks out your leading home run hitter and pitch wide. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And he's being escorted out now, Dwayne, by 2 uniformed officers. There we go. See ya.
Swing and a miss. That's going to end it. Beckham out on strikes. And Minnesota takes game 2 of the series. It's a 5-3 final. The series even at a game apiece. Rogers the winner, Farquhar the loser, and a save for Kinsler. For Brian Anderson and Alex Cordry, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast and not the outcome. Rays Live, the post game is next.